الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. ثم أما بعد إخواني في الله عز وجل, dear and respected brothers and sisters in Islam, is it the end of Daniel HAQIQATJOU? Is it the end of Daniel HAQIQATJOU? Is it over for Daniel HAQIQATJOU? Since the events in Gaza have started, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the Muslimin in Gaza. May Allah azza wa jal grant them insha'Allah ta'ala the best of solutions for their dunya as well as for their akhirah. Nas'alullah ta'ala an yufarrija kurbatahum. But since the beginning of the events in Gaza, or maybe a few months after the beginning of those events, Daniel HAQIQATJOU has been addressing some very controversial issues. It all started with the whole thing about, cooperating with the Shia, with the Rafida, with Hizbullah, as it is known, and so on and so forth. And then it has evolved into many other super controversial topics that are literally consuming probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of hours of the lives of Muslims. Like, think about it. If you think about all those Muslims that are watching, responding back, writing, reading, posting, like almost every single minute there's someone publishing something related to what Daniel said or to what someone said to Daniel, and it's been like this for many months right now. So if you take all this collective effort, which is not necessarily a positive effort, and you put it all together, Allah Ta'ala A'lam, Allah knows best. Maybe it could come up to like hundreds of thousands of hours, if not millions of hours altogether, of the lives of Muslimin and the energy of this ummah and the resources of this ummah that are being put in these things, which is literally insane. Wallahi, by Allah, this is crazy. This is crazy. If these things don't fall under the category of the fitan, the basically jama, the plural of a fitna, the major fitan that will start to multiply by the end of times, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us about, I don't know what could be a fitna then. I don't know what could be a fitna, subhanallah. Nas'alullah ta'ala al-afiyah. Anyway, so there's been a lot of people, sometimes contacting me directly or indirectly, asking me to say something about Daniel, to dissociate myself from Daniel or respond back to Daniel, whatever. And I would like to clarify a few things, inshaAllah ta'ala. Number one, this video is not, me basically doing whatever people were asking me to do. As I said, I have been receiving those type of messages or requests for many months now. And if I did not produce a video earlier, it's because I have my own reasons. I'm not here, to follow people's pressure. This is deen, this is religion. When it comes to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's only us as individuals and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are accountable directly to Allah azza wa jal. Nobody can help me, save me, or put me in trouble on the day of judgment. This is between me and Allah. So if I feel a responsibility, a duty, after reflecting and even after consulting people of knowledge and people of wisdom and so on and so forth, if I feel that I have the duty to do something and that Allah Ta'ala will ask me about it yawm al-qiyamah, then I will do it, even if people don't like it. If I can do it, I will do it, inshallah. If I feel or I believe I have my reasons, again, based on whatever knowledge I have, or if I don't have knowledge, I will have to consult people of knowledge and people of experience and wisdom, and take my time, because this is what Islam teaches us. You don't have to make like a response an hour later on. No, you can take your time. Sometimes you can take a few days, a few weeks before you come to a conclusion. This is how the Sahaba, this is politics of the Sahaba. If you go back to Al-Khulafa Al-Rashidin Al-Mahdiyin, the four Khulafa that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught us to take them as examples. This is Umar. It says sometimes, حَتَّى شَرَحَ اللَّهُ صَدْري, that Abu Bakr or Umar, sometimes it would take them a long time. They would be making istikhara for many weeks sometimes, until they come to a conclusion that I feel comfortable doing this. Because some things are very, very sensitive. They come with a lot of benefit, but they could also come with a lot of harm. So again, I'm not doing this. I want to be very clear. I'm not doing this because people requested me to do this. I'm not here to please people. If tomorrow I decide to open a bakery, and then I will be pleasing people, making whatever muffins people are requesting. If my clients are not happy with the types of muffins I'm making and they're asking for different flavors, yes, I would probably be very happy to make, the clients happy. But this is not clients. This is not a bakery. This is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I would like to clarify that first point. If I have delayed, publishing this video until today, we're just before Ramadan. So I said, let's make it before Ramadan because I don't want Muslims to be busy in Ramadan with these type of debates and so on and so forth. That's the first thing. Second thing, Daniel HAQIQATJOU is not my friend, is not my business partner. He is my brother in Islam, just like he is your brother in Islam. And that's pretty much it. I have had some, online contact with Daniel HAQIQATJOU for a certain period of time, a few years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago. And it was because I initiated, publishing a few videos defending Daniel HAQIQATJOU because some people were attacking him back in the days when he was doing something that was overall very right. He was defending the haqq, he was standing against those people who were trying to liberalize Islam and to westernize Islam. So he was doing a great job. We cannot deny that fact. Jazahullahu khayran ala ma qaddam. That's not something we can deny, whether Allah Ta'ala has accepted it or not, we don't know. Just like I don't know if Allah Ta'ala has accepted my actions or not. It's only Allah Ta'ala who decides. Yawma al-Qiyamah, Allah knows, those things that are covered beneath our intentions. Sometimes we think we're doing the right thing. Sometimes everybody believes, we are the heroes of Islam, of the Ummah, because the work we are doing seems to be so amazing, so great. But maybe Allah Ta'ala, for Him, whatever we are doing is zero. Because إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. If our intentions are not fi sabilillahi azza wa jal, if we are doing this to become famous influencers, or to make money, to monetize our content online, or if we are doing this, just for a passion for hawa, to show off riya, we want to be respected by people, or because we have nothing to do in life, we just want to, we think this is kind of, a hobby in life. And I'm not talking about Danielle or anyone in specific here. I'm talking about all of us. This applies to all of us, me first. Then Allah Azza wa Jal will take us on the Day of Judgment and will throw us in Jahannam. That's how it will end. So the hadith are pretty clear on this. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us. Anyway, so Daniel HAQIQATJOU is not my friend. Some people, even some brothers, they have directly contacted me saying, oh, your friend Daniel is saying this. How come Daniel is a Muslim, is my brother in Islam, just like he is your brother in Islam and you are my brother in Islam? There's no friendship between me and Daniel. Like I said, I initiated making a few videos back in the days to defend him because it was the right thing to do, alhamdulillah. And then he obviously, appreciated that someone was standing with him in the truth, and other people were standing with him also. It's not like, I'm the hero that was saving him. It was just my duty to do it in defending Islam, the message of Islam, not in defending just Daniel himself. So we got in contact online. It was like some brief exchanges, alhamdulillah, some beneficial things. And we ended up, having a podcast together that is published on his page. Inshallah, I believe it's still on his page. And I hope that it will remain on his page, inshallah, for the greater benefit, bi'idnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I have never met Daniel HAQIQATJOU. I never did business with Daniel HAQIQATJOU. I don't have any maslaha, profit with him, nothing. Daniel HAQIQATJOU has been, to be fair, in my interactions with him. I have not interacted with him now for maybe, 2 years or something in terms of direct interactions. I don't know, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I don't remember. But he was very respectful. People who have met him back in the days, and they told me what their experience was with him. They said he was a very respectful brother in person when you meet him. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that, don't you think that, there's like some behind the scene calculation that someone is either telling me to respond to Daniel HAQIQATJOU, that I have to make this video, or that I should not be making this video, watch out, because otherwise Daniel is not going to be happy and this is why I have delayed. No, like I said, I made my istikhara before. I thought about this, consulted some people. As we say in Arabic, the expression goes, يُقَدِّمُ رِجْلًا وَيُؤَخِّرُ أُخْرَى. Sometimes you make a step forward and then another step backward because you're not comfortable. And then, wallahi, to be honest with you, just today I just felt comfortable. I just had this feeling that I'm going to record this video. And I said, since I feel comfortable doing it now, let's just do it before I change my mind. Alhamdulillah. So, Daniel HAQIQATJOU, as we said, he has said a lot of wrong things when it comes to the relationship between Ahl Sunnah and the Rawafid. And that's one thing I did not want to engage him on, to start, a whole fight, as we say, to start a whole drama online, because, yes, the situation in Gaza is very complex. The situation of Muslims is very sad, very complex, very complicated. We are living in such a horrible world. Nas'alullah ta'ala al-afiyah. Muslims are so detached from their deen. They're not doing much to defend the rest of the Muslims and to defend, the Holy Land of Palestine and so on and so forth. So yes, a lot of people, they kind of, don't get it right. They don't understand, what the other mafasid could be, what the bigger picture is. And they say, for the greater benefit, we should, accept an alliance with Iran or Hezbollah, whatever. This is wrong. I have responded back to this in other videos. But again, this is something that you would hope that it would just fade away with time, right? If it was just a political thing, someone does not get it right, they don't really see they don't have the most precise perception of things, it can happen. You make the wrong ijtihad in politics. You don't make the wrong, maybe you lack a little bit of experience in life, a lack of information when it comes to history. Maybe you are under the influence of very strong emotions again. Yes, it's a very, very difficult situation to be living, to see the Muslims, what's happening to them in Gaza and Palestine and so on and so forth. So I said, I don't want to make a video and start a fight or, dissociate myself from Daniel HAQIQATJOU just because of that. I said, inshallah, hopefully, with the time, he will understand, or, it's just going to tone down, and one day we'll just forget about it, right? It's not directly related to the deen. Yes, it's based on the sound understanding of the deen, but based on that, you will extract some rulings, and so it goes. But it's not everyone who's able to understand those things, again, especially when things, you are under the pressure and the weight of those fitan and big events, and it's crazy what's been happening around the world. If you think about it, like, you understand why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us to always make dua in every salat, to ask Allah Ta'ala to protect us against the fitna of Masih al-Dajjal. Think about it. For 14 centuries now, Muslims have been making dua, Ya Allah, protect me. وَمِن فِتْنَةِ الْمَسِيحِ الدَّجَّالِ. Ya Allah, protect me from the fitna of Masih al-Dajjal. They have made dua for 14 centuries and never saw the fitna of Masih al-Dajjal. And maybe that's actually, part of the dua that Allah Ta'ala, has willed that Dajjal will not come in their time because they were making dua for it. You might ask, why did they make dua for all those years? Actually, Dajjal was not even in their time, or they didn't know. And Allah Ta'ala, maybe, Allah Ta'ala delayed and kept Dajjal away from them, maybe because of their dua. I don't know. I'm saying maybe. Allahu A'lam. But you understand why is it so important? Because, it's insane. It's crazy, the world in which we live today. It's like you close your eyes, you open your eyes, and some new things have happened, and everything that's happening is like big. It's a big deal. It's major. Massacres against Muslims, like crazy changes in global politics and global financial situation, markets, whatever, technology. I'm going to talk about technology, social media in a moment, inshallah. It's like, you understand why, fitan tamuju kamawji al-bahr. This is the example that has come in the nusus shar'iyya, in the authentic narrations and so on and so forth. Like the waves of the ocean. If you swim in the ocean, if you have tried swimming in the ocean, like especially the ocean, the deep ocean, not like the small sea. Some seas are very quiet. You go in the actual ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific or something, and you just throw yourself a little bit in the water and you see how crazy it is. You lose control. You don't know what's happening anymore. You don't know what's north, what's south, what's up, what's down. You lose this. You lose all your senses, subhanAllah. So these are the times of fitan we are living in. So you hope that, Daniel, is going to go, maybe inshallah after a few months, he's going to move on to something else. Unfortunately, that did not happen. And I don't know what the exact reasons are, but at a certain point, Daniel HAQIQATJOU has moved to a completely new branding with his, HAQIQATJOU. It looks much fancier right now. Some people, they say, that maybe he's receiving some funding from some places to start something more professional, something with, more, with different directions. I don't know, Allahu A'lam. Anyway, whether we do the good or the bad that people don't, any secrets that we have in life, any secrets, good or evil, Allah Ta'ala knows about them, and one day He will expose them in the dunya before the akhirah. People who hide, there are people who hide good things, subhanAllah. They hide good initiatives. They give so much sadaqah in secret. We have a lot of stories like this from the past, subhanAllah, in the books of biography, Siyar Alam Nubala and everything. Many of the Salaf used to do a lot of good deeds in private. They did their best to hide them. Allah Ta'ala brought them out because Allah Ta'ala wanted those people to get our respect in the dunya before the akhirah. وَمَنْ أَسَرَّ سَرِيرَةَ سُوءٍ whoever is hiding whoever has, some evil hidden agenda, Allah Ta'ala will expose them sooner or later. There's no way to, we cannot trick Allah Ta'ala. This is just how it works. We cannot play games with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So as I said, since Daniel has come up with his, Haqiqat show, and then things are becoming bigger, Daniel is talking now about some very advanced issues of Aqidah, as if he is, a scholar, a alim of Aqidah, things related, to shirk and istighatha and tawheed. So this is just one example of many. Of course, I cannot give you the many examples, and I will tell you why. This, as we say, Raddul Mujmal. I'm just, touching here just like I'm just giving you a few samples, a few examples here. There is no way I'm going to record, those videos of 3 hours, 4 hours. Because the problem, again, with not only Daniel, let's be fair here, the problem with many of these Muslim YouTubers and influencers and so on and so forth, I don't know which kind of a life are they living. I could argue, I could say that it's their private life, it's none of my business, but at the same time, thinking like, and logically, from my perspective as a human being, we are all human beings. None of us is like an alien or Superman or something. How do you guys live your life? I don't understand. I really don't understand. Wallahi, by Allah. If any of you is able to provide me with an answer, I would really appreciate it, because I would find it so helpful as a solution to myself. If anyone has some answers in the comments, or look, how do you guys make a living? You have a family to feed, right? How do you make a living? How do you go to work or make business, whatever, make money to live? And then you have a family again to take care of, right? So when you have a family, you have children, I don't know, they have problems, they have school, they fall sick, you have friends. You go to Salatul Jama'ah, as a Muslim, you're supposed to go to Salatul Jama'ah at least as much as you can. Yes, we understand in the West, maybe it's not always possible to go 5 times a day. But again, if you have a living, you work, whatever, then you try to go, 2-3 times a day to go Salatul Jama'ah. Do you guys go to Salatul Jama'ah? Do you go to the masjid? And then what time do you have left for reading the Quran, for opening a book, again, learning your deen, refreshing, making some ibadah? We have families, again, the larger family, Salatul Rahim. We have our duties toward the community. Sometimes, a brother calls, he asks for help, he has a problem. Your car is not working today, is not functioning, you have to take it to the garage. How are you people able to do all of this and then able to, every 2 days, like throw 5 hours on YouTube? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Wallahi, I don't understand. And people, they know very well nowadays, the youth, they're very good with technology and everything. You know that 5 hours on YouTube is not 5 hours of your life. It was possibly 10 hours, 15 hours. You always have technical, difficulties, uploading and the formats and the editing and I don't know what. How do you manage all of that? Unless, again, you have turned this religion into a corporation. Unless this is not about the deen anymore. This is, everyone, I have become my own brand. I figured out a way to kind of trick my audience into sending me so much money and super chats and sponsorships and everything. And I hire people with me on the team and I pay them very well. And now this has become a corporation. It's not a deen anymore, right? It's not a deen anymore. This is very dangerous. If that's the case, this is very bad. So how do people live? I don't understand. So going back to Daniel here. Not only the problem of, releasing so much content. That's what I'm telling you. Some people, they say, can you respond back to Daniel? I cannot even keep up. I cannot even follow and, keep up to date with what's going on, because I would be crazy. Insane to burn my life. Like imagine if Allah Ta'ala gives you money. Like imagine if I had like a pile of dollars here, right? And someone says, brother, here's, take some matches. Can you start burning some bills? Because we love to see that. It's cool. I say, okay, I'll make you happy. I'll burn, I'll start burning the dollars, right? Burning. Actually, like people would say, I'm crazy. Are you okay? They say, you're burning dollars. People are starving. They wish they had that much money. And you're burning the dollars. You know what? Burning dollars is not even the end of the world. It's insane to burn dollars, but it's not the end of the world. Because you can burn dollars and you go and you work very hard and you can make money again. You can make those dollars again. It's very bad, but it's not the worst thing. The worst thing is burning our lives. Allah Ta'ala has given us a limited life. Every second that passes, even while I'm recording this video and while you are watching me, every second, every breath, we are making a step closer to our grave, to our death. And it's a one-way trip. We cannot go back. We cannot go back, brothers and sisters. So, I must be crazy. I have to be crazy, to listen to those people telling me, can you go listen to Daniel and make a response back to Daniel, whatever. Like, really? Do I have nothing to do in life except going to every 2 days, Daniel has a new video, 5 hours. I'm going to listen to all of it and I'm going to write down everything. Let's respond back to Daniel. And then Daniel or whoever. By the way, there are other influencers and YouTubers, doing some very bad stuff. And many of them, they're called du'at, whatever. They're misguided. They are misguiding people. Again, the problem is, how much effort, how much energy am I willing and are other people willing to put of our lives, to sacrifice from our lives, right? To keep busy with these guys, like playing with the drama, because people, they like drama, unfortunately. So I would be responding back to Danielle for a video 5 hours. I have to watch 5 hours. I have to take notes. I have to think about, bring back, bring the references. And then people will like the video. Then Danielle, maybe he'll say, okay, I have to defend myself now. We'll make another 3 hours. And then I have to, and so it goes. Until when? Until when? Like, even if it was no akhirah, even if there was no akhirah, if this was just about this dunya, just rationally we would say, look, how many problems do we have as Muslims? Like, look, Muslims in the West, it's like this small, they just represent this small bubble of the whole bigger picture of this ummah, which is much greater than the Muslims in the West. Like, a lot of Muslims in the West, they have this, they have this egoistic thing in their mind. They think they are the center of the world. That the ummah is like us, Muslims in America or UK or France or Canada, whatever. Muslims in the West are like this small thing on the margin, on the side. The ummah is much bigger. And the ummah has some bigger problems to deal with. Now, if you put in perspective something much bigger, the bigger horizon, the akhirah, then really, you think I'm going to give one whole year of my life, playing games with Danielle, and then one other whole year of my life playing games with that person. So this is one reason why I have delayed producing this video. As I said, I have other reasons. One of them is a very important one, but I just cannot share it for now. Maybe one day I will share it. Maybe I will never share it. Allah Ta'ala a'lam. But the general idea, if I can give you a hint here, is that in Islam, right? In Islam, we don't have this. Look, the Western culture, by Allah. Listen to this, brothers and sisters. Those who have been, those who have grown in the West. There's a lot of benefits, definitely, that come with growing up in the West. Maybe you're more organized, compared to other people who have grown up in, as we call it, third world countries. Maybe you are better at expressing yourself, as they say, you have more self-confidence, whatever, comes with benefits. It comes also with its harms. It has its own harms and its own dangers that it comes, right? The traits of personality that are purely Western capitalist traits, and you think it's Islam. And one of those traits, again, is this poisonous attitude of, the love for drama, the love for talk show, especially the Americans. Americans, they like that. They like when there's like wrestling, fighting, people that are fighting. They like that. In Islam, by default, we're not into the attitude of fighting. I want to fight Danielle, and then I want to fight that person. Let's make a whole scene. No. In Islam, what we love for people is for people, even people who are wrong. We love for them. We hope for them, ideally, that they be guided, that they can find the truth, come back to the truth, and become a supporter of the truth. And we say, Alhamdulillah, they have become an agent of the truth. And I even wish that someone like Danielle, HAQIQATJOU, could be better than myself. Why? Because he has a bigger audience than me. He has more influence than me. So what he could do to Islam, if he is better than me, and 10 times better than me, and 100 times better than me, would be amazing, would be awesome. The consequences on the ummah, right? So this is why we are not in the mode of, we want to destroy others. We want others to fall down. But obviously, at a certain point, when you see that someone, they keep going in the wrong path, then what could you do? Everything is, the hearts of people are in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah azza wa jal huwa yahdi man yasha subhanahu wa ta'ala. Innaka la tahdi man ahbabta walakin Allah yahdi man yasha kama qala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my message to Danielle HAQIQATJOU and to other people who are YouTubers, who are posting, controversial Islamic da'wah things every day. If you are posting pure Quran, Sunnah, pure ilmun nafi', beneficial knowledge, because you have your references, you are going back to the books, you are taking from Riyadh al-Salihin, you are consulting the people of knowledge, you are taking from Tafsir Ibn Kathir, Al-Baghawi, Al-Qurtubi, from the books of fiqh, right, from the books of tarbiyah, of akhlaq, of good manners, the sound references, the agreed upon kind of references of Islam, of this religion. And you know that you have the ability, the right amount of knowledge to understand those references and to convey them, then alhamdulillah, if you can spend your 24 hours posting online, go ahead. It can only be better for the ummah and for yourself, for your akhirah, inshallah. But I'm talking about these influencers and online personalities who live their life online, and this is like, they think that YouTube is like, discussion around the coffee shop. Meaning, in other words, look, if I go and sit down with one of my best friends, I have a very good friend, for example, and I go and I sit down with him, and I know that my friend knows his religion, knows his deen. I'm not afraid that this person will have, misconceptions, shubuhat, confusion in their mind, whatever. It's like one-on-one, head-to-head, as we say in Arabic, the expression. And I'm taking a coffee shop with my brother. Yeah, of course, it's okay. I can be more spontaneous. I can say, you know what's happening in Gaza? You know in the news they said this. You know in Syria this is what's going on. You know in Afghanistan this is what's going on. You know what Donald Trump said. My opinion on it, what I think, it's okay. Because he can respond back to me. He can, point to my flaws maybe, I'm not seeing it right. We can disagree. We could say, oh, you know what, we don't agree on this and we think it's very important. Let's go ask people of knowledge. Let's ask someone who has more knowledge than us. It's not the end of the world. But living your life on YouTube as if it was a coffee shop when you have like literally millions of people globally who could be watching you and listening to you, from 10-year-old kids to 70-year-old people, from uneducated people who are just sitting at home to the guy with a PhD, from someone who has been practicing Islam for 50 years to someone who has just accepted Islam yesterday and who doesn't even know what the arkan of Islam are. And you just allow yourself to, just like talk about controversy after controversy after controversy. And the scary thing is that they have an opinion on everything. This whole crazy culture of ask me anything. I'm religious and I can answer you on everything. This is crazy. This is insane, by Allah. This is insane. Someone doing this, being online for 5 hours, 6 hours sometimes, on a live stream. It doesn't matter what their name is. I'm talking generally speaking here. Someone like that, right? Doing some show or some videos, live stream in the name of Islam, talking about religion, right? There's some other people, like even non-Muslims, who do like ask me anything, whatever. Who cares? Nobody takes them, so seriously that this is what they're saying is religion. What you're saying is what you think. Who cares about it? But I'm talking here about Muslim influencers, people who are portraying themselves as religious figures, and thus many people who are naive or simple, new to Islam, they take them as references, and then they allow themselves again to be online for 4 or 5 hours straight. Ask me anything. Super chat. What do you think about what happened in Syria? My opinion is, you know what I think? That person is wrong, that person is right, this, because that, and what happened 2 centuries ago, and Banu Umayyah, Banu al-Abbas, whatever. Next, ask me anything. What's going on in, in Russia? Oh, what's going on in Russia? Of course, I know the answer to it. How crazy, how arrogant. Maybe the person doesn't know it, but how arrogant, how much kibr, how much ego does a person have to think that they know everything about everything, that they can answer everything. We know the expression, the ulama, they say, the expression, the scholars of Islam, ulama of Islam, they have this expression. لو عرضت على عمر لجمع لها أهل بدر. Because it was the custom of, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. Umar ibn al-Khattab, Umar, he is known as Al-Faruq. Do you know what's Al-Faruq? Al-Faruq, the distinguisher. Allah Ta'ala has given him this insane level of ability to distinguish between truth and falsehood. Shaitan used to run away from Umar ibn al-Khattab. Like if me, you and Umar ibn al-Khattab are walking and there's like a fitna that's coming like miles away, he could see it before we even think about, trying to identify a fitna or a problem or something that's falsehood, that's batil. And he is Amir al-Mu'mineen, the Khalifa. And for matters that by Allah were much smaller than the matters that are being discussed nowadays on many of these YouTube Ask Me Anything videos, Umar ibn al-Khattab would bring together the people of Badr, the Sahaba, the best of the companions, حتى يستشيرهم, to consult them. What do you think we should do? We know the hadith of At-Ta'un, the very famous hadith of At-Ta'un, the plague. You can research it if you don't know the hadith. I made a long video about this hadith a few years ago. I don't know if it's still online during the COVID time. But anyway, it's a very famous hadith in the Sahih. So before Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, he was informed about the hadith. He didn't know what to do with the lives of the Muslims. There's a plague. He doesn't have a hadith. What should he do? He bring in, Muhajirin, Ansar, consulting them. And Umar ibn Khattab or even Abu Bakr or Uthman, Ali, they would not sleep at night sometimes, thinking, fearing the consequences of their decisions. Because they are deciding on behalf of the Muslims, right? So how can we, brothers and sisters, allow ourselves to just go online? And this is, again, this illusion, Allah Ta'ala has told us in the Quran. That the dunya can be so tricky. Wallahi, by Allah. Dunya taghurru. Dunya can be so tricky. Because you get amazed, by how many followers I have, how many people are giving me attention, and I become blind. I'm blinded by the attention that I'm getting, by the followers that I have. And those followers and that attention, that was initially maybe a ni'mah, blessing from Allah, that would normally allow me to convey the deen and to teach Islam, I have 500,000 people following me on my YouTube. Great, I could teach them, one dua per day. I could give them one small reminder, open maybe like very, with all, as we say, with all humbleness, just open a book in front of their eyes. Like, look, I'm not a alim, I'm opening a book, I'm going to read to you something beneficial. And wow, a lot of people, they would discover great stuff. Some people, as we said, they are new to Islam. They say, Jazakallah khair, thank you so much, brother. Wallah, this has, helped me so much in my deen. So instead of doing that, I become so amazed by this bubble of followers and supporters that I have, that I think like, I'm almost a prophet. I can say whatever I want. I'm free to say whatever I want. Again, this whole Western thing. As I said, you grew up in the West. Yes, you do this. You do get some benefit of this, self-confidence, because if you grew up in some third world countries, as we call them, it's, since you're very young, it's like dictatorship. Don't you dare open your mouth. You have to watch left and right and center. If the cops are not watching you, if the neighbors, not watching you, you're very careful to talk, right? You say, no, I'm not going to talk because, there's maybe consequences. That's why you see some Muslims who come from some countries, they're very scared. But again, you come from the West, you grew up in the West, this can actually become the other extreme. You think, I'm so free to say whatever I want, because it's my right. Nobody can, this is legal, and, First Amendment, I don't know what, I can say whatever I want. And I'm going to be, of course, since we're talking about Daniel, this is not specific to Daniel, but maybe Brother Daniel, is used to the whole, Texas culture of, freedom, we are free, whatever. It's good, great to be free, but we have to understand there's a limit to freedom, because we will be questioned by Allah Ta'ala on our opinions on the Day of Judgment. And as I said, by Allah, this can be very dangerous. Allah told us about the dunya in the Quran in many, many ayat. إِنَّمَا مَثَلُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا كَمَاءٍ أَنْزَلْنَاهُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ فَاخْتَلَطَ بِهِ نَبَاتُ الْأَرْضِ مِمَّا يَأْكُلُ النَّاسُ وَالْأَنْعَامُ حَتَّى إِذَا أَخَذَتِ الْأَرْضُ زُخْرُفَهَا وَزَيَّنَتْ وَظَنَّ أَهْلُهَا أَنَّهُمْ قَادِرُونَ عَلَيْهَا أَتَاهَا أَمْرُنَا لَيْلًا أَوْ نَهَارًا إِلَى آخِرِ الْآيَةِ. Allah Ta'ala has given us a lot of analogies in the Quran of how this dunya can become so beautiful and so amazing, and we think, this dunya is so eternal. Nothing is eternal, including your status, including who you are on YouTube. Today, Daniel, myself, people who are better than me, people who are more popular than Daniel. Today you are someone big, someone very important. In 10 years, maybe you will become irrelevant, because there's always the next big thing, the next bigger person, right? So what will remain is your amal salih. It doesn't matter how much you try to remain relevant by, thinking, because sometimes, again, this is from shaitan. Oh, you know what? Yasir Qadi, Umar Sulaiman are not a thing anymore. Let me find the next big thing, the next thing that could, get me attention from people, because I have to stay relevant. You could do your best. Maybe this is what Daniel is doing, maybe not. I don't know. Allahu A'lam. But he knows better than me, and Allah knows better than him about, the situation of his heart and my heart. Allah Ta'ala knows the hearts of everyone. So I could exaggerate, I could do my best, I could struggle so much, work very hard to always stay relevant. No matter how much I do it, one day someone will come and will override me, they will exhaust me, they will be the next bigger thing than me, and they will erase me. I will not exist anymore. Nobody will care about me anymore. And I don't want to give you names, specific names. There are people, by Allah, that 15 years ago, they were super famous online, and some like mashayikh and du'at, whatever, 15, 20 years ago. Today, if I do a survey, I ask some of the younger people who are the new generation of the internet, the new leaders, the new consumers of the internet, they'll say, we don't know who that guy is, never heard that name. It's just the nature of dunya. So Daniel, Brother Daniel, other people, how long do you think you're going to be relevant for? Like, are we eternal in this world? Why don't you use, mashallah, your platforms, whatever, like Daniel, he was doing a great job. That's why I'm saying, is it the end of Daniel, HAQIQATJOU? I hope not, inshallah. I hope not. I really hope not. I hope Daniel, is going to wake up and say, what am I doing to myself? And what am I doing to the ummah? Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. Alhamdulillah, the doors of repentance, of tawbah, they are open by Allah. We all know this. You make tawbah to Allah, and you say, I was wrong, or you say, okay, look, I'm just going to stop talking about all these things, let's forget it. I'm taking some time off the internet, you have to do this, you have no choice but to do this, you have to do some detox, stop my channel, disappear for a few months, maybe for a year, for 2 years. It's okay. People will say some wrong things, some bad things about you. Oh, Daniel, he lost the war, he lost the battle. Daniel finally said he was wrong. Who cares about what people say? All of this fades away, especially in the world in which we live today. And you come back after a year, after 2 years, inshallah, after making some reflection, finding a better positioning of your message, whatever, and you come back, you consult people, you consult different people, you make istikhara, consult Allah Ta'ala, make dua. Allah Azza wa Jal will guide you. You definitely have good qualities, great qualities. You are a very intelligent person. I'm telling Daniel here exactly what I said about someone like Yasir Qadi back in the days, right? And I was very harsh at a certain point, even with Yasir Qadi later on and everything. But initially I said it. Yasir Qadi, someone like Yasir Qadi is a very smart person. But again, being clever, being smart, it's a ni'mah from Allah. It's not something we make up, right? So that's why it's a test from Allah. Just like being wealthy. It's not necessarily, oh, I'm wealthy. قَالَ إِنَّمَا أُتِيتُهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ. If I'm wealthy, it's because Allah knows I deserve it. I'm a great person. No. If I'm clever, it doesn't mean that, oh, it's because Allah knows I deserve it. I'm a great person. No. It's a test from Allah. And how many people were misguided through history, philosophers and everything, right? That did not follow the prophets just because they thought, I'm too good to follow someone. I'm too smart to just submit to a prophet and follow his path. The same thing. Could it be the end of Daniel? HAQIQATJOU, maybe. Or maybe not. And I hope not, inshallah. I hope Daniel is going to take some time off, close, stop everything. Stop all of this nonsense that's been going on for many months. By Allah, it's a headache. It's a headache. How do you people follow all of this thing? I'm talking here to the youth. Because again, the youth, let's talk here. We cannot only blame Daniel, right? You cannot only blame Daniel. You guys love drama. You love these type of controversies and fights and everything. You love it. That's the truth. This is how sad the situation of our ummah is. By Allah, this is how sad. This is why the enemies of Islam, they are doing what they are doing to us. Because we have turned this religion into a joke, entertainment. Even people who criticize Daniel and who curse Daniel, I know for a fact many of them, they watch every single show of his. And they have 5 hours to watch. And it's like fun for them. It's entertainment. And then, did you hear what Daniel said? You should be making a response to him. You should make... But then, subhanAllah, if someone with knowledge or some ulama, whatever, they make a lecture, a dars, a study from Bukhari or from Tafsir Quran, whatever, that lasts 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Shaykh, this is too long. Can you make it shorter, please, next time? Wallah, this is too long, ya Shaykh. I cannot follow. Go, you can, the statistics are, the statistics, the big data is there. Go on YouTube and check, the videos, the content, whatever, in different languages, not only English. The content that's just like pure deen, religion. Hadyu al-Nabawi, al-Wahi. This is Wahi, revelation, purest of purity. Either Quran and its tafsir, or hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with like short, sweet commentaries, and you're talking about maybe a few hundred views. And go to the mufti fake and the entertainment sheikhs, making jokes about the deen, turning this deen into a circus, and boom, here you have hundreds of thousands of views or millions of views. And go to all these Ask Me Anything, 5-6 hours, people are happy to watch. And they pay super chats and whatever. So you guys like it. Of course, I'm not generalizing, I'm not saying everything, I'm not saying everyone, but I know for a fact that many people who are cursing Daniel HAQIQATJOU, they actually like this drama, they love it. They love it. And that's why it came in the Athar. That every time that there's a nation that leaves, that, gets into jadal, jadal meaning debates and counter debates and arguments and counter arguments and all this drama, they put aside amal, action. By Allah, wallahi, it's a shame on us. Uqsim billah, by Allah, it's a shame on us as Muslimin today. If Rasulullah saw our state as we are, when the time is for action, and I'm not even here talking about action, giving your life fi sabilillah and go liberating, Gaza, whatever. That's bigger than us. That's for people who are bigger than us. إن تتولوا يستبدل قوما غيركم ثم لا يكونوا أمثالكم. Allah Ta'ala will bring one day some true Muslims who will liberate Gaza and everything, who will not be ashamed on this ummah in the pages of history as we are today as a generation. But I'm talking about smaller things, not even giving your life. Smaller things. Doing small actions for the masjid, for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, helping some Muslims who are in need of small financial need or some small physical need. People disappear. Nobody's there for action. Only there for debates and for joking. This is what Allah Ta'ala says about the people of the book. Don't you people understand? The Yahud and the Nasara before us. This is what Allah Ta'ala said about them in the Quran al-Kareem. And also Allah Ta'ala tells us about those people الَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا دِينَهُمْ هُزُوًا وَلَعِبًا. They have turned their religion into a joke, into a game, into a play. What is this? Is this Islam? So, again, if it was just about Daniel HAQIQATJOU, I could have, I don't have his contact anymore, but I could probably have looked for his contact and say, look, Daniel, you know what? The ummah is doing great, but you know what you're doing? You're really harming the ummah. The truth is not, it's not Daniel. It's not just Daniel. Daniel is doing many wrong things. Yes, I cannot hide that. This is the fact. This is the truth. And I hope, inshallah, that Daniel is going to come back to the truth. For his own good, for his own benefit, for his own benefit. You're not harming me in any way. Alhamdulillah. If there are people who are willing to give you, again, to burn their lives and to give you their hours from their lives following you and watching every single show of yours and, becoming full of misconceptions and shubuhat and confused. One day it's istighatha, one day it's the Shia, one day it's the alt-right, whatever, one day it's I don't know what. If there are people who are willing to do that, good for them. Or I could say, I don't want to be mean, astaghfirullah, don't take it here in the most literal sense, but one could say good riddance. If someone wants to burn their life, they want to burn their akhirah. That's what they want to do. They want to gamble with their akhirah. That's their own business, none of my business. But again, the truth here is that, by Allah, our situation is very sad as Muslimin. Very sad. I've had people, they want me and they want other people to go and make, respond back. Can you give me a second life? Can you give me your life? Can I have your life? Of course, even if you wanted to, you cannot do it. And nobody's going to give their lives. Our lives are too valuable for us, right? So, I'm not going to respond back to this and to that person. Yes, we make some responses here and there. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. I have a life. I have priorities. I have duties, We live in times of fitna. There's no barakah in time. There's no barakah in time. Ramadan is coming up. Last Ramadan was like a blink of an eye. It was like a month ago. But it was a year ago in reality, right? It was Ramadan and then here's another Ramadan. And then it was Jumu'ah and then here's another Jumu'ah. And so it goes. Time is going so fast. There's no barakah in time. And then you want me to be burning my life following these dramas and these online fights? To be following that thing called Twitter or X? Back in the days, I used to like Twitter. Back in the days, used to be a lot of people of knowledge. They sharing a lot of interesting stuff. Now it has become a poison. By Allah, this thing called X nowadays is like a big mental hospital. Big, crazy people, including what they call Muslim Twitter. Even if you just follow Muslims, it's like a big mental hospital. I don't know how people live, spending hours of their days scrolling through that poisonous thing. Sometimes I feel tempted to go on it just to see what's going on, just to kind of, I need to live in this. I live in this world, so I want to know what's going on. By Allah, it has come to a point where I could, I cannot spend more than maybe 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes a day on it. Extreme, that's max. And you start feeling, subhanAllah, the consequences. Qaswatul qalb, how your heart becomes, your qalb becomes very, very hard. And, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's what's going on? So many things. Fulan yarud ala fulan, yarud ala fulan. Everybody's responding back. It's that they have that meme where everybody's pointing at the other person. Everyone is the enemy of everyone, basically. And everyone is talking about everything. And this is what Rasulullah said about the end of times. That one of the signs of the end of times. In the authentic hadith, what? وَيَنْتِقُ الرُّوَيْبِضَةُ. And Ruwaybidah will start, taking... basically, we'll start addressing people. They will start talking. They say, hey, I have my opinion. This is what I think. Listen to me, people. So he said, when he was asked about who is Ar-Ruwaybidah, he said that it is the nobody, the person with no ilm, with no knowledge, with no status in Islam, يَتَكَلَّمُ فِي أَمْرِ الْعَامَّةِ, who starts addressing public matters, the big issues. This is what internet has done to the people. Or more specifically, this is what social media has done to the people. This is why I firmly believe, I have no doubt, inshaAllah, Allahu A'lam. But from my knowledge, and I'm someone who has been living with the internet for 25 years or more, and I have, studied in the area of internet. I have worked extensively with the internet. I know the internet very well and how the internet has evolved and everything. And I have read a lot about the internet. I firmly believe that we are witnessing the decline, the end of the internet. The internet is going to end one day, pretty soon maybe, right? Technology maybe will stay there, but it will turn into something else. But nothing, this internet, because this ni'mah, this blessing has turned into a niqmah, into a curse. Killing our lives, literally. If we were spending as much time reading the Mus'haf, the Quran, as we spend, scrolling through all this mental hospital thing, our state as an ummah would have been so much different. We would have been, the number one power in this world, no doubt. SubhanAllah. Because of course, not just by reading the Quran, but the Quran is going to guide us. It's going to tell us what to do in our life, how to do the right thing. It's going to give us the motivation, the iman. Iman leads to amal, to actions, good deeds, amal salih. Look at our situation today. As I said, we don't do amal, we don't do work, because we find that work is very heavy on our hearts. We are too lazy to do good deeds. Why? Because iman is very weak inside the heart. So, I could go on for hours, but as I said, I'm against this whole idea of, making these like 3-hour, 4-hour videos, 5-hour videos. And I really hope that inshallah this will be the first and the last video that I have to make about this topic, inshallah. Actually, I just wanted to add one thing very briefly, inshallah, within a minute or even less. Even if I did not make this video, it's not my duty to release this video, by the way. This is a bonus, this video. Some people, they say, oh, it's your duty to dissociate yourself from Daniel HAQIQATJOU. No, it's not my duty to dissociate myself. It's nobody's duty to dissociate yourself from everyone that you have, once appeared with on a video and everything. Especially nowadays, we live in the times of ghurbatul Islam. Islam is strange. So imagine if every time, if I get invited to CNN and I go to CNN, they say, we are calling you. We give you a platform for 15 minutes. You can say whatever you want about Islam. I go on CNN. Do I have to dissociate myself from CNN right after and say, oh, CNN is saying things against Islam, so look, people, have to dissociate myself and from the next channel, from the next platform? No. If I was still, actively involved, if you saw me, still I'm making videos with Daniel HAQIQATJOU and, sharing content with him, whatever, then you could say, what's going on with you? Do you agree with him or what? Because, you continuing to work with him means that you kind of, making a tazkiyah, you are approving of the rest of the things that he is saying. It's not the case here. I made one podcast with him. That was like over, I believe, 2 years ago. Few interactions on some issues related to the Madkhalis and the governors and also liberal Islam that was being spread in the West and everything. And that's it. So don't expect everyone. What I'm trying to say here, I'm not trying to defend myself. I don't care. What I'm trying to tell you here is for your own benefit, so that you behave as a smart, responsible, independent Muslim. You don't need to be dragged like a small baby that has to be someone, guiding you at every step. No, don't listen to this. I dissociate myself from this. Now I'm not associated anymore to that person. This person, you should put an X on them. No. The ulama, they say, اعرف الحق تعرف أهله. If you are smart enough, you know the haqq, the truth, you'll be able, inshallah ta'ala, to distinguish between the people of truth, people of falsehood. There are people who are bringing shubuhat, misconceptions, causing doubts to Islam, Daniel or other people, and we have the time, and we judge, do we think that it's a priority to respond to those shubuhat? We will do it, inshallah ta'ala. If not, then not. Sallallahu sallam wa barak ala nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.